Hello, Graciela. I'm so excited to have you on because Ramadan is actually, in 2 days. So, nutrition, you're a nutritionist and you're also a human potential coach like me. So, your advice, your resources will be super valuable for us, to learn about and to be, as much prepared as possible because it's never too late, to be prepared. So, I want to welcome you first. And if you want to introduce yourself.
Hi, Fatima. Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here with you today. So as you say, I'm a registered nutritional therapist. I've been in clinical practice for 10 years, and I am also a certified human potential coach. We studied together a couple of years ago. I have been working with a few Muslim clients, helping them to have a healthy Ramadan. And the thing is that after working together, previous to Ramadan, we started working together a month before for preparing for Ramadan, and then during Ramadan, they really realized that the energy levels and the way that they were managing the hunger and Ramadan, everything really changed. So today I'm going to be giving you a few tips and a few suggestions that I think that your followers can find really useful.
If you have to give us, for example, general guidelines of like 3 or 4, points for us to really be mindful about in a sense of be healthy, eat healthy, be able actually to be very active during Ramadan, to have energy as your clients, just, shared with you, I think that would be super valuable.
So I think that the main 4 things I will say that, Ramadan is really an opportunity to really change your habits. So that's what I always say, if you can manage, fasting for such a long time, why not carry on with healthy habits? So we have now a lot of evidence that fasting is really good for your health. Like it really helps you manage your blood sugar, it reduces insulin, it's anti-aging. So there are really a lot of benefits from it. So one of the things that I would say with the type of fasting that is Ramadan is that there is no water consumption. And this is the only thing that it really needs to be managed in a different way that any other type of fasting where water it is allowed, for example, as intermittent fasting. So the main thing will be making sure that you drink enough water or fluids when you break the fast. So I would say number 1, always break the fast with a couple of glasses of water. Okay, just before we start eating. I would say water is best, but another thing that you could drink if you're really hungry is, for example, bone broth. So making ahead bone broth from chicken or beef, this is a great idea because bone broth have a lot of collagen, and it's really nutritious, has vitamins and minerals. So it's a really good way of replenishing your metabolite. That's something that you could be doing. So second advice will be always wait 10 minutes after drinking and then break the fast with some protein or fat. The idea of breaking the fast with milk and dates is not something that I will advise because dates, even though they have minerals and vitamins, at the end of the day are high in sugar. Anything that is high in sugar is going to make your pancreas release insulin. And the thing is that because you've been fasting, your insulin levels and your sugar is very stable in that moment. You're not producing insulin. So what we don't want to do is to spike your insulin levels. So I will say always start with a little bit of protein and a little bit of fat. That could be something like a little bit of chicken, or maybe if you like a protein shake, you can have a little bit of a protein shake, or maybe some nuts. And if you really, really want to have some dates, because it's in your tradition, I would say always have the dates with a little bit of protein. So some nuts, for example, or a little bit of avocado. So don't have ever carbohydrates, anything that contains sugar or carbohydrates by itself. That's another thing that I think that is important. Another one is chew your food. So when you've been fasting for such a long time, over 16 hours, it is normal to be really hungry. And it's just not the physical hunger, it's as well the mindset. So you can't wait to break the fast. So do not start eating really fast. You always have to think that digestions start in your mouth. Always start your break your fast by eating some protein and eating slowly. Chew your food. That's another one that I think is vital. Something that is really important is like eat real food. Traditionally, many families, because it's a time of celebration when you break the fast, it's a time of celebration. So there are sweets, some pastries, some things like that. I will say better not to go for that. So always something healthy, real foods, anything that you can find in nature. So fish, meat, vegetables, and then you can have a little bit of carbohydrate, but I would say always aim for half of your plate vegetables that they grow above the ground. Then a quarter must be your protein, and then a quarter can be starches such as sweet potatoes, a little bit of white potato, and then whole grains. Whole grains, I will say things like quinoa, a little bit of brown rice, white rice, if possible. That would be a quarter of your plate.
And you said actually a very religious thing for us right at the beginning, as you said, Ramadan is an opportunity to change our habits. And it's so true in religion. Actually, it's a religious teaching that says that it's really an opportunity. That's why I think preparation and even during Ramadan is really essential to be mindful of like, oh, this is the time for me to make better changes. So water, I think, as you said, drink water and then pray, because the breaking the fast, the iftar is at the same time that the prayer time. So because you said wait 10 minutes after, I think just drinking the water and then going to pray and then coming back to eat is really great. Is there anything else that you want to add, as a professional, to make sure that we support ourselves during Ramadan, for energy levels?
Yes, I would say that things that I will think it's best to avoid is, for example, overdoing in tea and coffee. Because trying to keep yourself away during those and then say, okay, I'm just going to have coffee, I'm going to have tea, just be aware of the following. Tea and coffee can cause dehydration. So because you are not drinking any water during the day, that is not a really good idea. Plus, the thing is that when you're fasting, your cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline, which are stress hormones, they go up. This is normal during fasting. So coffee and tea, they can also rise your cortisol. So this is not something that you want to do. So I will say keep it to a minimum. I would say best avoid it. So try to, for example, drink teas, but herbal teas, things that they don't have caffeine and thein. That would be another thing that I think is important. Another thing, it would be if you can add a multivitamin with minerals. So something that happened during Ramadan because of the fasting and because you're not drinking water is that your electrolytes, you really need to replenish your electrolytes. Those are sodium and potassium, magnesium, your minerals. So if you can increase your intake, of those minerals, even if it's a multivitamin that you can take when you break your fast, that would be a really good thing to do. And you will feel that you are less hungry and you have more energy. Also important to notice that it can happen because you're not drinking any water, you may get headaches during the day. Especially if you're in a country which is really hot. Okay. So be gentle with yourself and with the effort that you do. Sometimes you need to take breaks if you're not feeling well, and if you ever feel like really dizzy, you really maybe need to stop and take a rest.
I think for me, from my experience, mid Ramadan, this is where you get tired. Like I think around the 20th day this is when you get tired, when you feel like you've been fasting for a few days already. So having these minerals and vitamins might be helpful, for us to finish up and to have the energy sufficient. Where can people find you? Because you shared so many good nuggets. I love it.
Well, they can find me on my website, which is gracielacorrales.com. Easy. My name is our name.com.
We'll share everything in the video, comment section for sure. So I want to thank you for your time and for your informations, and yeah, just the best of luck for you, and thank you, for
Thank you,
these
Fatima.
valuables.
Thank you very much, and good luck in your Ramadan. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.